Hello, everybody. Today I wanted to talk about something that I'm not very good at, to be honest, and that is titles. Every single one of my projects has a title, and even my first book, like, the original title was supposed to just be a placeholder for what it was going to be, and then I'd figure out something real later, and it kind of just stuck. I really couldn't come up with anything better, and that's the way it goes for most of the projects that I have lined up. Uh, for this, my Guardian Demon, I did change it from Guardian Yes, Safe, Questionable, which I feel like both of them sum up what this book started to be, and then one kind of came into fruition a little bit more in the writing. And it's kind of weird how titles will just do that. Some of them will fit the project when you actually write the project, and others just stick even from the very beginning. And it's super weird because the same is for one of the other books that I'm writing called Wedding Crashers. That name is totally supposed to be just a placeholder title, but I'm actually really liking it and how it describes the book, because that's what titles are supposed to do. At least in my opinion, they're supposed to describe in as few words as possible what is the biggest detail of the book. At least that's my personal opinion on what it's supposed to be. But that also leads into title chapters. And for my first book, I just put down, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and whoever was speaking. But in the books of old, like in the Percy Jackson books, they had actual, like, funny titles that I really enjoyed. And I cannot for the life of me figure out how to do that. My my humor is kind of broken from everybody else's. I kind of have to read the room to figure out what's actually being funny here and what really isn't that funny. So creating those humorous title chapters is not really in my forte as much as I would like to be able to do that. But yep, titles super important. They're like the first thing besides the cover art that gives readers an idea of what's going on in your book. And I think they are pretty important to what what you're doing, and you should have a good title to go along with your book. Of course, titles aren't absolutely everything, but they're pretty important when you're creating a book, especially when you're marketing a project, because it can't be anything like swearing. I would suggest keeping out of titles. I mean, it is eye-catching, and it probably does describe your book, but it tends to be not very marketable, and that's one of the things that you have to think of when you're thinking of titles and cover art and all of that, is you have to think about marketability, unfortunately. But yeah, that's kind of it for today. Be careful what you name titles and think of your titles wisely. Anyway, I'll catch you on the flip side.